Good afternoon. My name is Peter Dembicki. I am President and CEO of Tier 1 Silver. Tier 1 Silver is a premier silver-focused exploration company with assets based in Peru. The founders of our company, Sean Wallace and Ivan Bebic, have had an incredible track record of success in good markets and bad, leading to the sale of Canadian Resources in 2014, and possibly one of the worst mining markets we've encountered. And they were able to sell that asset for over $200 million to Agnico. So when you have leadership like that at the helm of this company to provide guidance, it really shows that they have the ability to not only make a discovery, but also how to handle that discovery. And I couldn't be more fortunate and gracious to have these guys advising and being a part of this company. To get an understanding of how Tier 1 Silver came to be, so Oren Resources was a TSX and New York Stock Exchange listed company up until October 2020. They then made a strategic decision to spin out the company into three separate entities. Fury Gold, which trades on the TSX under the symbol FURY, contains all the Canadian assets. Sombrero Resources is an extremely high quality, large copper land package based in Peru as well. They're aiming to be listed later this summer. And then there's Tier 1 Silver, which is the company we're here to talk about today. So I touched briefly on the directors and the co-founders, Ivan Bebic and Sean Wallace, with their history. Myself, President and CEO, I joined the company in January of this year, and I come from 10 years at Canaccord Genuity, one of the largest independent wealth management firms in Canada. So I have a real knowledge and expertise as far as what makes a great investment. You know, it comes down to people, the expertise, the operations in this part, you know, our technical team. Michael Henderson and Dave Smithson, they are both formerly of Newmont, and they bring such an expertise that you would only find at the majors, and they're able to apply that to their exploration techniques. So it really gives us an advantage over any one of our peers, over some of the projects that we're finding, some of the ones that we're discovering, and it's amazingly exciting. Christian Rios, our guy down in Peru on the ground, really helping us navigate all the communities and negotiations when we do find projects that we want to pursue. So as I mentioned, our technical team, Michael Henderson and Dave Smithson, both formerly of Newmont, really leading the charge as far as finding high quality assets. And, you know, from what I'm going to show you with our flagship asset, Curibaya, this is something that we've worked on for a long time to build out, and we couldn't be more excited to show it to you. So we're based in Peru, and as everybody knows, Peru is such a mineral-rich country that remains vastly unexplored. It has the largest reserve of silver in the world. Over 20% of the world's silver is hosted in Peru. It's the second largest producer of copper in the world, and third largest producer of silver. So we know the country hosts some phenomenal high-grade assets. So the theme of Tier 1 is to really acquire projects in permit-friendly jurisdictions that allows us to be nimble, but at the same time, you know, you could find a high-quality project in a country, but if you don't get access to it, or you don't have the ability to work on it, then, you know, it's all for nothing. So we're really strategic on how we find our projects and what we're going after. And as you can see, down in the south, Curibaya is our flagship project that we have drill permits in hand and access and ready to go. And so I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about that. So situated in Peru along the coastline, the world famous porphyry belt. And it is host to some of the world's largest copper producers out there, in the form of Cerro Verde, which is a 4 billion plus ton, 100 million plus silver producer, Cajone, Quellaveco, and Tocopala, which are all over 1 billion plus tons of copper. So we're situated amongst giants, as we like to say. And when we did some age dating on the project, it really came back, and we were hoping so, and it did. It confirmed the fact that our asset is the same age as all these giants amongst us. So we're really fortunate to have the neighbors that we are, and we understand that there's a lot of eyes on us for that purpose. So just to get a brief look at who's surrounding us. Well, again, I mentioned some of those larger mines, and you can see them in the deck. Tokapala, to the northwest of us, the large open pit mine there. You can see just the scale of one of the world's largest copper producers, and how Curibaya matches up to that. So again, we're surrounded by all the names that most people have heard of when it comes to Teck, Rio Tinto, Vale, and BHP. So it is a very hot district. So here's what really provided us the confidence and the excitement around the project. So we've been collecting samples on this from late fall and in the winter. And when they started coming back, the grades just kept on getting bigger and bigger, and to the point where we reached close to 300,000 grams per ton silver and almost a kilo of gold in our rock samples that happened over a 20 square kilometer alteration system. So the size and the scale of this project, and the fact that we were finding extreme bonanza high grades in every corner all over this project was really something that we needed confidence for, and to take the next step and to really hit it hard with geophysics. And are we lucky that we did? Because when we went out and did that, we found a few things. So as you can see on this slide here, which looks like a confetti, is all of our high grade. And you can see how they're really concentrated in and around this large chargeability anomaly that was found. And then within that is this magnetic anomaly. And all these high grades that you see, including the mega high grades of 300,000 grams per ton silver, are situated directly above it. So again, this is only a third of the Curibaya land package, but we really wanted to see now, take the next step, what's underneath it, what can we see? And here's a slide that really has, geologists around the world and investors alike overly excited, not to mention management, losing sleep over this. And so, our geologist, Dave Smithson, really said it best. Picture this as a tree. So these high grade samples that I showed you previously in the last couple slides are situated right on the land here, right above. Picture that as the leaves to a tree. And as you work your way down underneath in this cross section, forming the small branches are these what's called vein mantos. Vein mantos are, veins that are approaching the surface, and they end up hitting this lithocap, which is an impermeable rock. So the veins are then forced to go, horizontal and stack and pool. And so we have found that this is an incredible potential for multi-targets if we were to start drilling on these things. So the chargeability anomaly, which is focused around this 50 millivolt, is the heart of this project. And we feel that there is a tremendous ability that this could be a massive precious metal system. And below it is the magnetic anomaly that came about that, we don't know what it is yet, but we have a really good indication this could be, it could be the porphyry that's really driving this whole system. So when I mentioned the Cerro Verdes, the Tokapala, Quellaveco, and Cajon, those major mines around us, those are predominantly large copper producers with some precious metals mixed in. But what we've found is that they probably at one point did have precious metals, but it's been eroded away. And what we have with ours is a completely preserved precious metal system. Now, we're in and amongst the giants. I mentioned earlier that we did age dating on the rock, and we found that it's the same age as all those major mines. So whatever occurred 57 million years ago, to produce all these mines, we feel that we're in that same family. And the fact that we have that precious metal system completely preserved is really exciting to us. So I mentioned with the vein mantos and the branches of the tree, as you lead down, we've identified very thick vein structures that are going to be host to your extreme high grade. We have a top cover on this that it's predominantly volcanic, and volcanics aren't usually a great host for thick, dense veins. They're more, it acts as a sponge. So you're going to get still high grade, but it's going to be sporadic and thin and multiple veins. But as you work your way into the lava, into the sandstone, the second layer below the surface, it's a harder rock. It's great for hosting thick, large vein structures. And it's all pointing towards the heart of this project, where we found our main charge. And so, when we start planning out our drill program, which we hope to commence in the next month or so, you can see how we would have the ability to test out vein mantos, thinner, high-grade veins at surface in the volcanics, make our way into the sandstone, into the labra, to test out to see if we have these larger, thicker veins. But ultimately, we want to drive some stakes right into the heart of this, what we believe is a precious metals system down here, with such a high chargeability anomaly. Below it, this potential for a porphyry, has really got us thinking and dreaming as to what it could be. And so to have multiple targets with each drill that we put into the ground is something that I think every geologist would want to be a part of. And I know with Dave Smithson on the ground in Peru, he's champing at the bit to get there and to get the drilling started, as we all are, because our shareholders alike are very excited for this. So it's such a unique project, as it's undrilled. It's been untested. Geologists in the history of this land area predominantly have been looking for copper, and they may have overlooked the precious metals potential, especially along this belt. And we're very fortunate to have come across this system. Recently in our news, we announced the acquisition of Hurricane Silver, located up the coast, more centrally located into Peru. This is something we've been working on for years. The group that owned it before, a private Peruvian group, held it. Very, very reputable group. And so we trust the people. We trust some of the work that has been done on it before. Again, we are coming across extreme high grade rock samples and surface samples that we've done to date. So again, anytime you come across kilo plus silver, we're going to take a closer look. So again, this is something that's been in the works for years. To finally be able to bring it into the fold, into our portfolio, is incredible timing, as we are on the verge of listing on the TSX Venture. So again, this is a group that we take on the portfolio approach. Curibaya obviously is our flagship. We have drill permits in hand, water permits ready, access ready to go. We're ready to enter it. And in the background, we've made a couple acquisitions to really bolster the portfolio. And we don't do this really to take anything away from Curibaya. We think Curibaya, we believe it's going to be one of the largest silver discoveries the world has seen in the past few decades. But at the same time, we understand that exploration is a risky business. And so anytime that we can provide more value for shareholders and give our shareholders multiple opportunities for world-class wins, of course, we're going to take that opportunity to take those into our portfolio. And so with Emilia, Hurricane Silver, and Coastal Batholith, another large land package that we are getting some incredible data back on, we're going to continue to work on those in the background. But all systems go on Curibaya. We're going to get drilling in the next month. We can't be more excited to see what comes of it. Back in March, we went out and did our initial raise into Tier 1 Silver. We raised $13.5 million at $1 per share, no warrants. And as I mentioned in the first couple slides, Tier 1 Silver is a spinout of formerly Oren Resources. So with that, every share from Oren, got a share of Tier 1 Silver. So we inherited 112 or so million shares from Orange shareholders. And so that brings us to 125 million approximately shares out. And we have a robust treasury to go ahead and fund the first 10,000 meters of drilling at Curibaya. We're looking to list within the next few weeks on the TSX Venture. Drilling is going to commence as soon as we can after that. We also want to give everybody the opportunity, shareholders, new investors that weren't able to take part into the financing, to come in and buy some shares. And surprisingly, you know, we're fairly optimistic on the turnaround time for results. So we could have results back from our first set of drills near the end of July. So again, you know, when I, as an investment advisor, looked to put my clients and make a recommendation to clients, it was, are the people there that have done this before and have been successful time and time again? With Ivan and Sean Wallace at the helm, that's a double check mark. They've done it twice before in good markets and bad. Looking at operations, well, in the case of an exploration team, that's our technical team. Michael Henriksen, David Smithson, both formerly of Newmont, they are applying the techniques that they've had from their major into an exploration company. It remains, you know, something for them to be completely nimble, take the shackles off, do what they want to do. And we're so fortunate that they're able to use their techniques to identify projects that might be world-class. And in this case, we really do believe that Curibaya is a world-class discovery that's ready to be drilled. Again, we like to bolster our portfolio by anytime we see a project that could be another world-class swing for investors, we're gonna put it into the portfolio. So at this point, we have a very, very strong portfolio of early stage properties that we're gonna continue to do work on. And as Curibaya progresses and drill results start coming out in the background, continue work on that, so that again, it provides every one of our shareholders with multiple world-class swings. So again, my name is Peter Dembicki. I'm President and CEO of Tier 1 Silver. We really urge everyone at the conference to take a look at our website to see our introduction video to Curibaya. We know that you're going to be as excited as we are on this thing, and we're really looking forward to having some great discussions with everybody. Thank you.